I don't know who need to hear this, but this walking, this ain't act, okay? I don't know who need to hear this. A motivation to get cash, yeah. Order, yeah, standing over, yeah. See some gangsters go to jail who got turned in the, yeah. Hey, shout out to Ronald Rodriguez. I know the lyrics, I just couldn't say all the words. You feel me? On here. So, welcome. Y'all know where we at. Monster Reactions. So what's up? What up? What up? Like, what's up? Like, for real. How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing? Y'all here? Y'all here? Y'all there? Okay, okay, we here. Yeah, okay. Yeah! Hey, it's your man Monster, and I'm back with another video. You already know, wrote 300,000, give or take $1 million, you know, because that's the mindset. Why not win? We ain't never forgot about that. Hey, we're going up. We're going to keep going up. Continue to watch my videos. Continue to support. Thank you. I love all y'all who watch my videos. Today's video, we got a good one. I ain't about to hold y'all up, man. Today's video is the 5 scariest unsolved cases. Yeah. Show that. And I want to make sure I'm saying that correct. Yes. 5 scary cases that are unsolved till this day, to be specific. So we about to react to that, man. See what that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. Hope y'all enjoy. About to see what that's hitting on. Make sure you tell your mom, your daddy, your auntie, uncle, your brother, your cousin, your lover, your boyfriend, their girlfriend, their boyfriend, their cousin, their lover, they all that. Tell the word about them. Come over to Monster Reactions. Because you know we solid, we real, we funny, and we authentic. Bows up. Better get your dough up. Hey, so we about to go ahead and get into this video right now. Let's go.
You're not interested in awesome tracking technology for your vehicles or fleet. Tiny device.
That's what's up. I don't feel like I might be scared, but let me know if y'all...
The 1980s, a decade filled with big hair, metal bands, cheesy films, and lots of mysterious crime.
Shout out to CY Knots, man. But this video is for me to react to for y'all.
Number 5.
In case y'all didn't know.
74-year-old Harry Howell lived alone following the passing of his beloved wife, Elsie. Harry's neighbors said that he mostly liked to keep to himself, but did enjoy a drink at the local pubs. On November 5th, 1988, Bonfire Night in England would be the last day that Harry was seen alive. It wouldn't be until November 22nd, 1988, that his body would be discovered in his home. Harry was last seen by a woman walking her dog, and she told police that Harry was standing on the porch of the assisted living housing he lived in. Harry lived alone following the passing of his wife that previous October, and was medically vulnerable. He'd suffered from a minor stroke, was visually impaired, and slightly deaf. He also kept all of his savings in his flat, something that he shared openly after a few drinks at the pub. He explained that he didn't trust banks or building societies. It's likely that whoever is responsible knew this and took advantage of a vulnerable elderly man.
Right.
It wouldn't be until November 22nd, 17 days after he was last seen, that Harry's body was found in the front room of his flat by a window cleaner, John Johnston. Johnston was horrified at what he had discovered and raised the alarm. Police quickly arrived at the scene and cordoned off the area. Police found that Harry had suffered blunt force trauma to the head, and that thousands of pounds had been stolen from his flat, along with other valuables. The coroner was able to determine that Harry had been deceased for 16 days, but was not quite able to determine what instrument had been used. Police were now left with more questions than answers. How had Harry gone undiscovered for 16 days when he lived in an assisted living building?
Right.
According to one article, residents were checked on at least 6 times a week. So how did nobody pick up on this? One employee told police that a note, supposedly from Harry, was placed on the notice board on November 6th saying no milk, gone away for 2 weeks holiday. However, days later, the notice had mysteriously vanished. Police believe that the person responsible knew that Harry kept all of his money in his apartment and knew how to prevent employees at the flat from discovering him. The
Right.
only solid piece of evidence in Harry's case was a Burton's bag found in his apartment that contained 2 beef and horseradish sandwiches. Burton's was a confectioner just around the corner from where Harry had lived, and Burton's employees remembered that a man in his 30s bought 2 beef and horseradish sandwiches on November 6th, the day of Harry's death. The man was described as having hooded eyes, sharp cheekbones, and dark hair that was parted to the left. Police launched multiple appeals asking this man to come forward as they wanted to question him, and despite receiving 100 tips,
I ain't gonna hold it. I don't really want to make this video too long, but this is kind of tripping me out already. Cause what, nigga? It be cases like this. It be like, bro, watch your surroundings, bro. Watch, like, long live speaking like this, bro. Watch who you hang around. Like, watch your surroundings. Watch, like, around you. Like, watch who watching you. If it feel like somebody following you, bro, or sis, like, you feel me? Yeah, hey, pay attention to stuff like that. Like, when you driving, you feel me? Look behind you before you feel me? Look around before you go into your apartment building. Like little stuff like that. Look around before you go inside your house. Like, look around before you pull into your driveway if you live in, like, a subdivision type stuff. You feel me? Like, all that, bro. Like, don't be telling everybody your business either. Because, like Buddy said, whoever did this had to know this man keep big money in there. But the case kind of like me, because I think a lot, it's kind of obvious. Maybe one of the workers got somebody off the street to go do that because they know. You feel me? So it's in. I don't know, but it's weird already.
nothing ever came of this. The case of Harry Howell has remained unsolved for almost 33 years.
That's wild.
And police are no closer to cracking the case than they were in 1988.
Plus, he got so many
With
other
no
cases.
forensics and no leads, it's unknown how long this case will sit cold until they get the break they need.
That's wild. That's wild. Like, that's mind blowing.
He was like, you want to know about the first one? It took me a minute to...
Yeah, I don't hear about all that.
Number 4. On July 19th, 1989, children playing near the Flat Rock Run Creek in Ohio came across a discarded shoe. They continued down the creek and through the weeds when they came across the body of a young man entangled in the brush. After realizing what they had discovered, the children ran home and told their parents what they had found. In turn, the Marion County Sheriff's Office was called to the scene and the investigation began. It was estimated that the man had been deceased for 3 to 6 weeks. His remains were classified as decomposed and they were too deteriorated for the coroner to be able to determine a cause of death. The coroner did find a mark on his neck, indicating the possibility of foul play, and his death certificate reads undetermined presumed homicide. Police began cross-referencing the man with known missing persons from the area. However, this yielded no results. They expanded their search statewide, but still found nothing. Despite a lengthy investigation, the Marion County Sheriff's Office was unable to determine the man's identity and named him the Marion County, Ohio John Doe, or sometimes known as Luther. Luther was found wearing a flannel short-sleeved black and red striped shirt, a multicolored knitted jumper with a diamond and zigzag pattern, Dakota brand blue jeans, dark red ribbed socks, and black Adidas Continental tennis shoes in a size 9.5. He's described as a white male between the ages of 22 and 40 and stands around 5'9" to 5'10". He has brown to black hair and a small amount of facial hair, but due to the level of decomposition, his eye color is not known. Dentals and DNA are both available in his case, and the Marion County Sheriff's Office is appealing to anyone with information to call them at 740-392-8244, quoting case number 890-45394.
But this is my thing, like, it be crazy though, stuff like that, like little stuff, he be like, Where your family at? Like, but he ain't got no family. Like, nobody claimed this nigga missing. You feel me? Cause you know, normally the police be like, wait 48 hours type stuff. You feel me? So it's like, wait 48 hours, and you be like, nigga, we gotta go. Nah, nigga, we gotta. Yeah, nigga, 2 to 3 weeks. Nobody said, like, nobody put out a missing person. Like, he ain't got no cousin, no sister, no auntie, no. You feel? He had to be born by somebody. You feel me? Like, nobody, like, nigga had no friend. You feel me? Like, but some people be really, you never know, bro, because some people really be out here. I'm just putting it like that. If you know, you know. Some people be out here. So they be mysterious. They ain't really got no, yeah. They friend is money and the life they living. You feel me? So, you never know. But, I don't know. That's kind of.
Number 3.
Already.
32-year-old Dorothy Jane Scott of Anaheim, California, dropped her son off at her parents' house on May 27th,
It sounds like a
1980,
kidnapping
so
area.
they could babysit
Anaheim,
while she
California.
attended a meeting at work.
Just saying.
For Dorothy, this was just another day and had no idea of the events that were about to unfold in front of her. As far as she was concerned, this was just another day at the office. Dorothy arrived at the meeting and immediately became concerned about her coworker, Conrad Boston, who confided in her that he had been bitten by a spider. Dorothy volunteered herself to drive Conrad to the hospital along with her coworker, Pam Head. Conrad was in immeasurable pain, and Dorothy didn't want to wait and finish the meeting, so the three headed to the nearest hospital.
Okay.
After arriving at A&E, doctors discovered that Conrad had been bitten by a black widow and administered treatment immediately.
Okay.
Thankfully, Conrad was fine, and by 11 p.m. that evening, he was ready to be discharged.
Okay.
Pam agreed to stay with him while he completed the necessary paperwork, and Dorothy told them that she would drive the car around to the front and wait for them.
Okay.
After finishing up in the hospital, Pam and Conrad headed outside, only to see Pam's car speed past them, blinding them with her headlights. The pair were confused, but figured that there'd possibly been an emergency at home, and that Pam would be back as soon as possible to pick them up. 2 hours passed, and Pam and Conrad realized that Dorothy wasn't coming back. They called her parents, who informed them that she wasn't with them. After realizing that Dorothy was possibly in danger, they alerted the hospital security and police were called to the scene. Apart from the sighting made by Pam and Conrad, police had little to work with. There were no clues and no forensics left at the scene. That was until they began interviewing those closest to Dorothy and found out that in the weeks leading up to her disappearance, they'd been receiving creepy calls from an unknown caller. The caller would call her, describing the intimate details of her life and repeating over and over again that he was always watching her. Dorothy had confided in her parents, telling them that the voice sounded familiar, but she could never quite place it. She'd become so alarmed about the calls that she'd taken up self-defense classes in case the anonymous caller came after her. As the month...
I ain't gonna hold it though. Like, no funny job. Like, I'm just saying, if that nigga always watching you, and then buddy was calling you, that nigga knew you was going to self-defense class. You don't think that nigga wasn't prepared? I'm just saying. Like, stuff like that, you got to switch your numbers, you got to move, bro. Sis. Like, you might as well move. Like, change your name type stuff. Cause like, you feel me? Bro, there's some crazy people out here, bro.
Police were still no closer to solving Dorothy's case.
Better keep that.
They followed every lead to its end, but still had nothing to work with. That's when the calls started. Every Wednesday, Dorothy's parents would receive a call from the anonymous caller asking them if Dorothy was home.
That's
Sometimes
weird.
he would even taunt them. The call stopped in 1984 when Dorothy's remains were discovered along Santa Ana Canyon Road in Anaheim Hills. Her burned out car was also found in a valley not far from the road. Despite the numerous calls, the anonymous man placed to Dorothy and her family, police have never been able to trace the number and uncover his true identity.
I'm quite sure not. That's wild.
We're giving away our $79 backpack for free.
Man,
Just
I
pay the
don't
shipping.
care.
No hidden charges.
We don't care. Back to this. But that's wild,
Number
though.
2.
Why ain't nobody, man, don't go to the parking garage just by yourself, bro.
28-year-old Jane Marie Pritchard had the world at her feet. In 1986, she was busy working towards her master's degree in botany at the University of Maryland. And when she wasn't studying, she was conducting experiments in Blackbird Forest State Park on hog peanuts. Keith Pritchard, Jane's brother, said she was always an outdoor person. She loved horses and nature. Sadly, Jane's love of nature would end in foul play. Jane was last seen on September 19, 1986, driving her blue and white Chevrolet Blazer along the access road south of the state forest. At around 7 a.m., she unloaded her car, set up her equipment, and got herself ready for the day ahead. From 7 a.m., Jane made detailed notes about how the hog peanuts turned toward the sun, which was the last bit of information she needed for her thesis. Jane would never get to hand in her thesis, and on September 20th, 1986, her body was discovered by a young couple who were staying in the forest and had decided to go for a walk. As they were walking along the trails, they discovered Jane's body about 20 feet from the trail. The couple was in shock and ran back to the campsite to alert the authorities. Detectives arrived on the scene and found that Jane had been shot in the back of the head.
Dang.
They also found that her detailed minute-by-minute notes had stopped at around 10 a.m. Witnesses claimed that they saw Jane speaking with a squirrel hunter and wondered whether this was an accident. When performing the autopsy, the coroner found that Jane had multiple gunshot wounds and declared that it was a homicide. Police interviewed the hunter that Jane was speaking with that morning, and after finding inconsistencies in his story, he was arrested and charged with first-degree murder.
Oh, wow.
After combing through the crime scene, they found a bit of hair that did not belong to Jane and hoped that the DNA testing would provide them with answers. In 1986, DNA was still in its infancy, with many forces not even having the capability to perform such tests. Luckily, in this case, the police were able to find the only laboratory in the country doing DNA analysis at the time. After months of waiting, the squirrel hunter was cleared after it was discovered that it was not his DNA found at the crime scene. In 2014, Jane's case was assigned to the Newcastle County's Cold Case Homicide Unit, with Police Chief Cole Elmer telling the Delaware Online, quote, "The Cold Case Unit was created to solidify our vigilance in identifying and arresting those who commit murder in Newcastle County, regardless of when the crime occurred. A seasoned investigator with a fresh set of eyes and the use of modern technology may be able to help solve these heinous crimes and bring some closure to the families of the victims." As of 2021, there have been no new updates in Jane's case, but police are hopeful that the breakthrough they need is right around the corner. Number 1.
Bro, I ain't gonna talk too long. I'm not gonna talk too long. But, like, how can I say this? How can I say this fight? I'm trying to think, like, 'cause I don't want to sound insensitive. But why was you in the forest? Yes, you love nature. But ladies, women, I don't care who you is, I don't care how strong you think you are, how strong you actually are. Certain stuff just don't do. Like, certain situations you can't control. But that, I'm just saying, like, especially in today's world. Now, back then, it probably was like, not so bad. And she thought she could, you still don't do it. But, man, don't do stuff. Man, listen. That's wild. That's wild. But people feel like they can like just like you feel like in your head as a person, as a human, I can go do whatever I want to. That makes me feel like I'm enjoying life, right? You feel that way in your head, but you gotta think reality. You gotta move something. If you feel like you can do that or you want to do that, you feel me? Take somebody with you, who you trust, and so you will have a good time for sure. Somebody who into what you're into, and do those different activities together, so you're not by yourself. Cause that's crazy though, cause ain't nobody heard the gunshot, but that couple came across her a little bit after the fact. You feel me? And found her, and then nobody heard multiple gunshots, and a squirrel hunter. Man, what? Story's gonna be adding up, bro. What's number one talking about though?
On July 15, 1982, cemetery maintenance workers at the Cedar Ridge Cemetery in Blairstown, New Jersey, came across the body of a young woman in the southeastern corner near a creek. Police quickly realized that the young woman had been deceased for several weeks before her discovery, and more recent estimates put her post-mortem index down to 1 week. She'd suffered trauma to her face, and her cause of death was listed as blunt force trauma. The woman was found wearing distinctive clothing, a V-neck with the yellow, blue, and black piping, and a red, white, and blue print shirt that had a border of peacocks along the bottom. She was also found wearing a gold chain with a 14-karat gold cross, indicating she'd possibly come from a religious family. Police analyzed the clothing and theorized that the clothing had possibly been purchased from a shop in Long Island, New York. After contacting the manufacturer, police found that the clothing the young woman was wearing had been manufactured in the Midwest. Details about the young woman were released to the media, and a witness came forward claiming that she had seen the woman fitting her description in a clothing shop near where she was discovered. Despite this lead, the woman was unable to provide any other information, such as the name or where she might be from. The young woman had not been carrying any identification, and as months passed, she became known as Princess Doe. In 1999, Arthur Kimlaw confessed to killing Princess Doe. However, without solid evidence, police were unable to secure a conviction against him, and he was never charged. An isotope test indicated that Princess Doe may be from Arizona and spent at least 10 months in the Midwestern or Northeastern U.S. before she passed. Princess Doe is described as a white female between the ages of 18 and 20, 5'2" to 5 foot brown, with brown, straight shoulder-length hair. Her eye color is unknown, and she was found wearing blue eyeshadow and nail polish only on her right hand. She had both of her ears pierced, with her left ear being double pierced. Dentals, DNA, and fingerprints are available in her case, and anyone with information is asked to contact the New Jersey State Police at 800-709-70.
Alright, man. Alright. So, boom, about this one. Y'all don't even know when she was born. Like, if the DNA and all that is available, I don't get it. Like, how do y'all not know when she was born, though? She don't come up in y'all system? And her, like, you feel me? Like, y'all don't get that. I don't get that. Second of all, if buddy confess, what more evidence? You gotta, because somebody confessed, you still got to be like, okay, let me see if you really did it. Like, what? Man, hey, man, if y'all made this far, that just kind of got my head hurting a little bit. Like, right here. But, hey, let me know if y'all like these videos. These kind of interesting, but it's kind of like mind-blowing, too. But, hey, you made this far, thank you, man. I love you, man. Sis, Libra, old girl, all y'all, gang, mob, all that. The ones, you feel me? All y'all, thank you for watching. Hey, man, remember, you can go anywhere, you can do anything, as long as you take yourself with you, man. Monster Mom, man, we out, man. Peace.